Why the state had told the jury they tryna indict us all? The lawyers got them out for Davis, they better sign them all.
What's going on with your son, Lil Durk?
Yeah, it's like I lost another child. It hurts. It hurts. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. So he's doing pretty good.
And did he really cut his locks off?
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Durk team spoke out on his behalf after the feds filed 2 new charges and released text messages that Durk was aware he had 2 informants cooperating with police, and his response in those text messages may prove he's guilty or not. I'll let y'all decide. But first, make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Music 101, the Street Reporter, and I'm back with another video. Let's get into it. A message was posted on Durk Instagram from his lawyers that said, "This indictment is lipstick on a pig. For nearly 2 years now, federal prosecutors have desperately tried to fend off challenges to a very weak case. Now, just 2 months before trial, a trial that Durk Banks has demanded at every turn, they pulled this pathetic pivot, recycling old accusations into a scrambling prosecutor's backup plan, alleged racketeering and as many unrelated false claims as possible. This is not a sign of strength. It's an acknowledgement of weakness. The fact remains, Durk Banks is innocent, no matter how many indictments they want to throw at him." Drew Finley, Marissa Goldberg, Brian Steele, and Christy O'Connor, attorneys for Durk Banks. Let me tell y'all something. When Drew Finley and Brian Steele speak out on stuff like this, they not sending a message to the feds. They talking to the co-defendants. And the only way they can talk to the co-defendants is by going public like this. If you look at this message, it got a very weak case in red. It also got, "This is not a sign of strength. It's acknowledgement of weakness" in red. They telling Durk co-defendants, "Don't panic. Y'all chill. Don't fold. This case is weak. We still got this in the bag." And they know it's gonna circulate on the internet. It gonna get to the co-defendant's family, and the co-defendant's family gonna give it to them. Hey, Durk lawyers just went online and said the case weak. To give them hope, to give them that energy to keep fighting and not give in, not snitch, not call. Before I speak on the 2 new charges, let's look at these text messages. The feds claim Durk told his co-defendants that the government informant and another co-conspirator is ready to tell. According to court documents, it says, on July 6, 2023, defendant Banks sent the group text message to co-conspirators, including defendant Wilson, stating, "Deesky beat his murder. He gonna be more dangerous." For the people that don't know who is Deesky, Deesky is OTF Didi. Didi is Durk's cousin. Durk rapped about Didi in many of songs like this.
Just say your ass. How? You just call Didi a rapper, you'll kill him. Don't tell me nothing. Didi with me.
Cherry production.
Oh, big threat. That's a bet. On the voice, that mean Didi, he the threat.
This case go back to November 3rd, 2012. A member from a gang called Shield was shot and killed. The report says Travis Henry, 19, was shot multiple times in the 5600 block of South Shields Avenue, where he was pronounced dead on the scene when police arrived. Didi was arrested 2 years later in 2014, and 5 years after that, he was granted a $90,000 bond because the prosecutors had lack of evidence. And 4 years after that, 2023, he posted on his Instagram, "Just received that not guilty verdict, murder and attempted murder."
Deesky D, free that man, yeah! Beat that body! Beat that body! Oh, folks, still, look, the 2 beat the bodies! Oh, folks, look!
And that's what the alleged text message is referencing when it says July 6, 2023, defendant Banks sent the group text message to co-conspirators, including defendant Wilson, stating that Deesky beat his murder. He gonna be more dangerous. The rest of the document says, on August 4th, 2023, defendant Banks sent the group text message to co-conspirators, including defendant Wilson, stating that a suspected government informant and a co-conspirator was just ready to snitch blood clear as day, and he gonna tell soon. So you mean to tell me Durk already knew it was people snitching? On August 4th, 2023, in that same group text message thread referenced above, defendant Wilson responded and said he think he can break us down. Who is this person that they talking about? It's like they know he exists, they know he working with the police, and they know he trying to take them down, but they ain't doing nothing to him. Now, after Wilson responded and said he think he can break us down, in that same text message thread on August 4th, 2023, a co-conspirator replied beware of everybody, not just the suspected government informant. And that's true. Hey, we focusing on him right here, but shit, it's somebody else probably telling too. In that same text message thread on August 4th, 2023, defendant Banks reassured his co-conspirators, stating, as long as we don't break, they can tell them whatever. Let me read that again. As long as we don't break, they can tell them whatever. Now, a lot of people are saying that statement right there is Durk admitting to whatever these informants is telling to the police. And he telling his team, hey, look, if we stick together and we don't break, it don't matter what they tell them, we can beat it. Now, y'all get in the comments and let me know, does that statement alone prove that Lil Durk is guilty when it comes to whatever this situation was, what an informant had information about? On August 5th, 2023, in response to a message from defendant Wilson stating, Wiggers already out there playing with folks' names. Defendant Banks referenced the Banks gang enterprise violence, stating, crazy blood, Wiggers don't slide or hurt a MFer, leaving it all up to us. Now, what the feds is trying to allude to when Wilson put in that text message that they out there playing with folks' name, Durk responded and said, crazy blood, Wiggers don't slide or hurt a MFer, leaving it all up to us. Basically saying that the ones on the block is not sliding. They ain't sliding for fun. They leaving it up to the real hitters, the ones with a name, the ones that got clout. We gotta do it. We gotta take matters into our own hands. Now, y'all remember months ago, the feds released documents saying that Lil Durk put hits on O-Block members because they wouldn't slide for fun. Now, this text message, well, Wilson is telling Durk, hey, they out there playing with folks' name already. And Durk responding, man, these muggers won't hurt a soul. They ain't sliding. They leaving this shit up there. Like, we got to go do this shit ourselves. We the ones with the bags, and we got to get dirty ourselves. I ain't gonna lie. The feds is gonna have a field day with that text message alone. But y'all get in the comments and tell me what y'all think. Now, Durk was hit with 2 new charges: murder in the aid of racketeering and conspiracy to commit stalking. Now, these 2 charges come from the murder of Stephon Mack, who Durk allegedly put money on his head because he allegedly had something to do with Durk brother D-Thang murder. And the second charge come from that Atlanta case where Durk, King Von, Bezu, and Hella Bands was arrested in Atlanta after a shooting took place outside the Varsity, a popular restaurant in Atlanta.
Case against a rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial. Channel 2's anchor Lori Wilson is live near where the shooting happened, near the Varsity, and Lori, police say they have video evidence in this case.
Topeka APD says they used at least 5 cameras from local businesses, including this BP, as well as from the Varsity across the street in order to build their case against Lil Durk and his co-defendant. On Friday, detectives from Atlanta and Chicago testified in the criminal case against rapper Lil Durk in Fulton County Court. They say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Derek Banks, and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
They were hanging out. They went to a studio to make music.
The rapper and Bennett listened to the evidence against them in court. Police told the judge later that night the victim, Banks, Bennett, and others went to a nightclub, a gas station, and ended up in the parking lot of the Varsity. That's when Witherspoon said he was robbed and shot.
He said his chain was snatched off his neck, and he had $30,000 stolen from him, and they stole the vehicle he was driving.
Police say Banks was seen on tape shooting a gun.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim, towards the victim.
Banks' attorney says this is a celebrity witch hunt.
Were it not for the celebrity status of these 2 individuals, then this would be an aggravated assault.
Banks released a single "Turn Myself In" the day he turned himself in. It's gotten almost 7 million views. The prosecutor charging this wasn't just a robbery and shooting, but gang activity. She put a Chicago detective on the stand to testify that Banks and Bennett are members of Chicago gangs.
Is it possible to continue your affiliation and even commit crimes when you move out of Chicago if you're in a different city or if a different area?
Yes, ma'am.
The first case, Durk was never arrested. That second case, Durk, King Von, Hella Bands, and Bezu was arrested, but the charges was dropped. Bradford Cohen, who just dropped off of Pooh Shiesty case, he spoke about it, and this what he had to say. Make sure y'all get in the comments Tell me what you think about this whole situation. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on all post notifications. It's free. Do it for me.
Now let's move on to Lil Durk. Lil Durk, I think, is beatable too. Everyone never underestimate Brian Steele in a courtroom. I've seen him argue on cases. I had the pleasure of handling a case with him. He's a great attorney, great cross-examination. I really look forward to seeing this case go forward. I'm going to see how it turns out. I really think that Durk has a shot. Zoe, give me the less than 5-second version if Zoe thinks it's got a shot. Go.
Brian Steele will always win his cases.
Wow, Zoe loves Brian Steele. That's it for tonight.
Charleston White, Brick Baby, again, Bruce Cannon, and about 18
Five step, I'm the leader of this 8 shit.